let's jump into it. The first tip is to write shorter sentences. I see people all the time writing these long sentences that are like, 4, 5, 8 lines long. They're so long that I don't even understand them. I can't follow the ideas in the sentences because one thing leads into another, and you need to write shorter sentences. So sentences should be an average of 20 words long. That is not long at all. And what that means is that some sentences can be longer. They can be 30 words, or they can be shorter. They can be 10 words, 5 words, even 2 words. Okay, but you want to write shorter sentences because it's going to make your writing so much easier to understand. Now, the next thing you want to do is you want to alternate sentence length. So if each sentence that you write is, 15 to 20 words, that's going to make your writing really choppy, okay? It's going to make it really choppy, really boring. It's going to make everything sound all the same. In order to make your writing more dynamic, more interesting for people to read, you need to alternate your sentence length. So, you can start with one sentence that is 10 words long, then make a 20-word sentence, then make a 5-word sentence, and really just play around with sentence length because that stops and starts the reader as they're going through your paragraphs, and it really takes them on a journey. Now, you don't want to get too tactical about this. You don't want to say, okay, the first sentence has to be 30 words. The second sentence has to be 15 words. The next sentence has to be 5 words. You don't have to be that structured about it. Just alternate your sentence length to make your writing more engaging. The third thing that you can do to instantly improve your writing is communicate one idea per sentence, okay? So this goes back to writing shorter sentences. A lot of times people try to communicate up to 5 or more ideas in one sentence, and it's just too much. You lose your reader's focus when you do that. So you want to have one idea per sentence and maybe 2 ideas, maybe 3 ideas, but definitely not more than 3 ideas. So let me show you what this looks like, okay? I'm going to give you an example of a sentence. It's just one sentence, but it's way too long and it has way too many ideas that are all competing for our attention in this one sentence, okay? So listen up, here it is. After I woke up today at 7 a.m., I ate breakfast, brushed my teeth, and went to work, where I suddenly realized it was Saturday and I could have slept in. That sentence, although maybe you understand the ideas, is actually too long. It's too long and it has so many different ideas. We can break that up into a mini paragraph. So listen to it broken up with punctuation. Today I woke up at 7 a.m. I ate breakfast, brushed my teeth, and went to work. As soon as I got there, I realized it was Saturday and could have slept in, okay? So you should hear the pauses now. I'm pausing where each sentence ends, all right? Number 4, the next thing you can do to instantly improve your writing is making shorter paragraphs, okay? Now, there's a common theme in everything that I'm telling you. It's to simplify your writing, to make things shorter, to not overcomplicate it. Now, what I see a lot of people do is they write one big paragraph. Maybe they write it on Facebook or they write it in an email or, on an essay, but that is one of the worst things you could do in writing because that makes it extremely difficult for readers to absorb, okay? Think about books, think about blog posts, think about articles. Everything is broken up into paragraphs, okay? And the shorter your paragraphs are, the easier they will be to absorb and the more engaged they will keep your reader. So each paragraph should be about 1 to 5 sentences. Now, if you're writing an academic paper, perhaps you can maybe write, a paragraph that has 7 sentences or something like that. But if you're writing a letter to a boss or a client, or if you're writing a post on Facebook or something like that, you want to keep your paragraphs shorter and you want to space them apart. You need to make them visually easy to absorb. One big block of text is very difficult to read, it's very difficult to absorb, and people will either ignore it or maybe they will misunderstand what you're communicating because they can't read it correctly. Whatever happens, just make sure you are writing smaller paragraphs, okay? And the last thing you can do to instantly improve your writing is wordsmith it, okay? This means edit your work. And when I say that everybody knows this but few people do it, I really honestly mean it. So many people that I know, they write something once and then they think that that's that, and they post it on Facebook or they send the email or whatever it is, they turn in their essay. That is the worst thing you could do, because writing is the easy part. Editing is the hard part, because editing requires you to read every line and every word and ask yourself, is this word necessary? Is this phrase necessary? Is this sentence necessary? Is this paragraph necessary? You literally have to go through every aspect of your writing and ask yourself, is this necessary? Because what happens is we tend to go off on tangents when we're writing something. We're writing one thing, it reminds us of something else, and we weren't really going to write about that other thing, but we decide to include it anyways, and before you know it, we have like this big soup of words, and it goes all over the place, and you don't want that. You want to make sure that you're taking the reader on a journey where they can understand everything. So you have to put yourself in your reader's shoes, and you have to ask yourself, is this easy to understand? You don't want to make your reader do work. They're already doing work by reading your writing. So you want to make your writing so easy and so natural to absorb that they'll pretty much read it without even realizing they're reading it, without even thinking, oh, I'm reading this or I'm trying to understand this. You don't want to make people try to understand what you're writing. You want it to be natural for them. So edit your work, take out every unnecessary word. Don't try to add words to a sentence to make it longer, to make it sound smarter or anything like that. Don't try to use these big fancy words when you can just use a simple word. Simplify your writing, make things shorter, take out anything that's not necessary, because that is what will produce clarity in your writing. So again, as I said in the beginning of this audio,